high-speed internet, get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. Buy E470, quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. Buy Ford Escape, so much fun, so little fuel. Ford Escape, drive one. And by Grainger, with over 900,000 products for the ones who get it done. Well, the Rockies and Dodgers have met 4 times now this year, with the Dodgers winning 3 of those ball games. 5-4 last night, of course, as Larry Bowa makes his way out of the dugout. Throws some seeds in, heads to third base. There's Rafael Furcal, hitting .277. He'll be batting leadoff for LA. He's missed about a month this year with a hamstring injury. Garrett Anderson is getting the start in right field. He had a big double last night. Manny Ramirez, of course, his first home run in more than a month yesterday. Matt Kemp hit his 10th home run last night. James Loney in the starting lineup. We saw him late in the ball game yesterday. Then Casey Blake, Blake DeWitt, A.J. Ellis, and Hiroki Kuroda in his 3rd season with the Dodgers. And here's the veteran now, Aaron Cook, 31-year-old from Hamilton, Ohio.
Yeah, 10th start this season, number 176 of his career. Fastball that will sink it, use both sides of the plate, curveball, changeup, slider. The key for Aaron tonight, make sure that that sinking fastball is down in the zone, somewhere from about his knees working down to the ankles. And then the other thing is, don't put extra guys on base. That's the one thing that's hurt Aaron this year. 25 walks on the season. Think back to last year, he had 47 all of last year, and then back in 08 had 48. So Aaron's putting a few extra guys on base. If he can knock that down a little bit and give up only 0 walks would be great, but keep it down to 1, maybe 2. He'll give himself a lot better chance to use that sinking ground ball to get the double plays, too.
Yeah, and actually early in that ball game in Kansas City, he was throwing the ball pretty well, just for whatever reason came apart in the 5th inning. The Rockies defensively have Seth Smith, Carlos Gonzalez, and Brad Hopp left to right. Stewart, Tulowitzki, Barmes, and help with Miguel Olivo behind the plate. First pitch is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space and your name to 95323 to receive your Domino's special offer and to be entered to win a pizza party for 15. One weekly winner will be chosen. So we are ready to go. The Rockies and Dodgers. And the first pitch to Furcal is a sinker, a little bit beneath the zone. It's 1-0. Mark Wegner's calling balls and strikes tonight. And this is a broken bat, base hit to center field. That was a sinker that was up in the strike zone. Let's take a look at our Suzuki keys to the game.
Well, this holiday weekend, fully cooked. I'm talking about Aaron Cook. Go deep into the ball game. Give that bullpen a little bit of a rest. It's been worked a lot lately, last week or so. Then the big guns, 2 for 5 through the lineup last night for the Rockies. 0 for 14. Those guys need to come on today and then finish strong. Jumped out early last night, just couldn't hold the lead. Only had 1 hit after the 4th inning.
Check out for Kyle, who has 8 stolen bases.
And only been caught 1 time this year. Garrett Anderson's a guy that's not afraid to see some pitches. Got him. Well, guess not.
Close.
Quick snap throw, quick feet from Aaron Cook. Boy, that looked pretty close right there. One more look at it. Snap throw over. Well, maybe they're saying Todd missed the tag, but it didn't look like it. Got him right on the wrist.
Dan Iasana is at first base. Here's the group tonight. Mark Wegner, Dale Scott's the crew chief at second, and Jerry Meals is at third base. Garrett Anderson has never gotten a hit against Aaron Cook. He's faced him 7 times.
Also a guy that he'll hit into double plays too.
Yeah, he
doesn't run real well.
Doesn't run well. Certainly in the latter stages of his career, it is 2-0. And we told you that Furcal has been successful on 8 of 9 attempts. If you're successful as a club in that 75% range, Huey. That's really solid.
And just a little bit above the major league average.
It's 3-0 on Anderson.
The wind really picked up in the last hour here down at Coors Field.
Ball 4, and alarm bells may ring in that dugout for Bob Apodaca. 4-pitch walk to Garrett Anderson after the hit allowed to Furcal. We've described many times with Cook, he can get out of jams because of his ability to get ground balls, but that pitch wasn't close.
No, it was above the zone, especially when you haven't been close to it the previous 3 pitches.
Manny's numbers overall look very good, but he got off to such a tremendous start that when he went on the disabled list, this ball is hit well to right. A lot of wind for Brad Hopp. He makes the catch, and Furcal's going to move from second to third. Let's just finish on Manny. Manny's actually been in a slump, prolonged slump, since coming off the disabled list, but everything still looks pretty good because he was so good the first couple of weeks.
He only hit 200 though, since a little over 200. And those are the numbers. That 1 home run came in last night's ball game.
So 1 out, and that'll bring up the dangerous Matt Kemp.
Dangerous because he hit a home run last night, but he can hit it all over the ballpark. It's also very difficult to double up.
Well, he runs well. He's a free swinger, though. You have guys that'll work counts, and then you have guys that are going to fire quickly. Kemp usually will fire on the quicker side of things.
He's only grounded into 4 double plays this year. But if he hits it hard, you can turn it.
This one will be tough, but they get it done. Was not hit that hard. Stewart made a great feed to Farmas, who's so terrific making that pivot around the bag. And though Aaron Cook gave up a hit and walked the man, no damage done, and that is always the bottom line. Average 31 runs among the top 10, as we talked about in the National League. He'll be followed by Seth Smith, Todd Helton, Troy Tulowitzki with a 307 average. He's second in the league in runs scored with 37. Brad Hopp, Miguel Olivo, who's off to the best start of his career. Ian Stewart, Clint Barmas, who hit his 4th home run last night, and then Aaron Cook. Wind gusting now in the neighborhood of 25 to 30 miles an hour.
Straight in from center field.
This will be the 10th start for Hiroki Kuroda, who's been very solid. 9 starts. He has 7 quality starts. One of his 2 non-quality starts came on May 7th in LA against the Rockies, who went 5 1/3, gave up 5 runs, 4 earned on 9 hits. And as Jeff talked about, he walked 5.
Yeah, and this year he's only walked 15 all year long. I mean, he's a guy that last year in 117 innings only walked 24 batters.
1-1.
He'll throw a fastball anywhere in the neighborhood of 89 to 94 miles an hour, slider, and his split. That's the one he likes to throw a lot, 85 to 91. But he really tries to deceive you with that delivery and deception, because he'll come up, he'll just go back, pause for a second. It's all about throwing your timing off.
That was a 69 mile an hour breaking ball that missed by like 6 feet.
I think his spike got caught. That's what it looked like when he went to throw it. His spike kind of stuck in the ground when he went to throw it. Get one more look at it. Yeah, he just fell off over. He didn't get that front foot landing area right.
So Gonzalez at first, and Cargo has 7 stolen bases. That leads the club. Dexter Fowler next with 6.
Well, let's not forget the guy behind the plate, A.J. Ellis, only making his 6th start this year, 0 for 6 throwing out base runners.
Down low, ball 1 on Smith. Smith feeling much better health-wise, battling the flu a couple of days ago. He says still feels a little bit weak, but I'm not buying it, because he's hit 3 balls in excess of 430 feet in the last few days.
He said today, I talked to him about it, he goes, I finally was able to sleep a little bit. That would have been his biggest problem. Just the chills, the fever, all that. He wasn't able to get a good night's rest.
Let's take a look at the Amica hit zone on Seth Smith, and we'll remind you that for each Colorado hit from now through the end of the year, Amica Insurance will donate $10 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Denver. Thanks, Amica.
Well, those numbers, a lot of them are the power numbers inside. He stands right on the plate, but he's able to pull those hands in to pull the ball to right field.
One ball, 1 strike on Smith. 0 for 3 last night. And this is rounded to center field. It got over for Kyle. Gonzalez had to wait. Taught always to freeze on a line drive. And Kyle was shaded up the middle. Good read by Gonzalez. 2 on, nobody out for the Rockies as we take a look at the gloves for Los Angeles. Manny Ramirez in left field. Matt Kemp, a Gold Glover last year, though he struggled at times this year. Garrett Anderson, not a lot of range in right field. Blake for Kyle, DeWitt and Loney with Ellis behind the plate. The 2 corner outfielders can't run a lick, and this is the biggest outfield in baseball.
Yeah, Matt Kemp's going to have his work cut out for him, because he's going to have basically from left center field to right center field.
You're being kind.
Well,
he has
maybe the line to the line.
Right. I mean, as Helton takes ball 1, he has 2 steps to Manny's glove side, and he has 2 steps to Garrett Anderson's glove side.
So from right there to over there, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the 2 old guys are saying, all yours, kid. You know, we're having fun with it. It could be a factor tonight.
It really can be.
1 ball, 1 strike. Todd amazingly hitting just .240 so far this year against righties. He's hitting better than .320 against lefties. high. 2-1. Who wants tacos? Fans, remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies Tacos Special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. That's a strike on the corner. 2-2. Tulowitzki on deck.
See what it looks like on the forward strike zone. It was the same place as the very first ball. That at bat for Todd Helton was called the ball.
Three and 2. I think Todd, philosophically, and it could change pitch to pitch count wise, but more often than not, he looks away anyhow.
Sure, and because that is just his natural swing ever since he first came up. He was a guy that looked to take the ball the other way, and when they're working in this way, why not?
Goes back to when he was hitting against his dad in their garage in Knoxville growing up. Dad, Jerry, taught him to hit the ball the other way. Runners go in, and this ball is hit to Manny in left. And near the line, Manny can't make the catch, and it's in foul ground. Manny's lucky that was in foul ground. That was very, very close. Jerry Meals went down the line. We got to see that again.
Well, we talked about the wind being a factor, and it was on this ball.
I don't know. He's in fair territory.
Well, it's where it goes off his glove, not where it hits, too. I mean, yeah, it hit in foul territory, but where was his glove in relationship to the line? They ruled it a no play as far as the official scorekeeping did. On the right. See if we can get a better look going down the line right here. Did it go off his glove? Well, Jerry Meals was out there. That's all you can ask for. It did look like it might have been in foul territory.
Very close. Runners not going. Ball 4, and now they're loaded up for Troy Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki at 307, 6 home runs. He's driven in 24.
Well, last night, the runner's out there. He had a first pitch slider that he swung at. See if Kuroda goes with the slider or the split on the first pitch. And Troy with the bases loaded this year, 2 for 4 with 6 RBIs.
Chance to get a quick jump, as the Rockies did last night against the Dodgers. They scored 2 in the first. Unfortunately, couldn't hold a 4-0 lead. Nobody out. Bases jam-packed. 1-0.
Well, first pitch slider, not surprising from Kuroda. He's a guy that won't give in to you. I mean, he's not just going to lay a fastball in there. If he's going to try to hit his spots with it, even behind in the count, he'll still throw something off speed.
Brad Hopp, who has hit Kuroda very well, is in the on-deck circle. Here's Bradley. How many games has that man taken in his career as a player and a manager?
And that's why his expression really never changes. You can tell what's happening in this ball game just with that snapshot.
This is where you want to be if you're Tulowitzki. Here's the 2-0. Kuroda reached back and got probably all he's got. That came in at 93.
That is all he has, Drew, because he had to go back and get a little bit extra, knowing that it was a 2-0 count. Troy loves to hit the fastball. If he was going to throw it, he had to throw it with a little extra gas on it.
That's 2-2.
A lot of pressure on A.J. Ellis, the young catcher. Kuroda wants to throw the slider or split and bury it down into the dirt to try to get the strikeout. He's got to make sure that if he calls for it, that he blocks it.
Yep, that's that old line. If you call it, you better be able to handle it. You better be able to block it. 2-2. 3-2. Tulowitzki will take a walk.
Rick
Honeycutt wants to take a walk as well. And what I meant by Tulowitzki taking a walk, he just moved around the batter's box. I was literally talking about the base on balls, so that would work also. Here's the 3-2. And it's chopped to short. That'll get a run home. Tulowitzki up the line. And a good job by Helton getting into the second baseman DeWitt. So it's an RBI ground out. 1-0 Colorado. Carlos Gonzalez scores his 32nd run of the year. And every time we look up, he's getting high fives in the dugout.
Troy hits it in front of home plate, chops it, and when Furcal backed up, going underhand from that distance, that's a long, long way. And then you leave your second baseman hanging out there to dry with the guy coming in and sliding hard at you.
Not how you want to deliver that ball.
Yeah, you got to deliver that ball sidearm with a little mustard behind it.
Here's Brad Hopp. Runners at first and third, one out. Brad 3 for 9 against Kuroda with a home run in his career. He's driven in 4. He has always gotten after the Dodgers. A .350 lifetime average. And you think about who they typically roll out on the mound. That's something.
Well, he even had an intentional walk in last night's ball game. That's kind of how much respect Joe Torre had for Brad, giving him the intentional walk in the first inning.
I'll tell you how great Brad's been. I mean, he has 306 at bats against Dodger pitching in his career. 107 hits, 20 home runs. Todd Helton, 289 lifetime average against the Dodgers and 707 at bats, and that's a very solid number. So for whatever reason, Brad Hopp, he's always brought his A game when the Dodgers are in town or the Rockies are in Los Angeles.
Boy, the pace of the game already from Kuroda has just come to a crawl.
Three and 0 with Miguel Olivo on deck. I don't know how much you want to mess around with Olivo, especially in this ballpark.
Well, think back to last night what Joe Torre did. I just mentioned they intentionally walked Brad Hopp, and then who came up next with 2 outs and got the RBI? That was Miguel Olivo with a single to left field.
Brad swinging 3-0, drives it to deep left center field, and the catch is made by Kemp. Jogging home is Seth Smith. That was quite a play. The wind was moving that away from Matt Kemp, and Kemp hauled it in for Brad Hopp, his 17th RBI. It's 2-0.
If that wind hadn't been blowing in 25 miles an hour, that's in the seats, because he clipped that pretty good. 3-0 swing away from him, gets that extension and leverage. He thought he had it, but Matt Kemp makes a fine play because that ball kept going away from him. You knew Manny wasn't going to be able to get to it, and then slides and keeps that ball from going to the wall.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that wind completely knocked that ball down. I mean, it was taking it naturally away from Matt Kemp also. But I think we'll ask him tonight after the game. I think he crushed that.
I just was looking at his expression after he kind of hit first base and looked at Glenn Allen Hill and just kind of gave that sideways look like, wow, I thought I hit that better.
Olivo. We got to expand the field. That would have been a double had they expanded the field a little bit.
Or made it round.
Change the geometry.
lob swing. That front leg gets down, driving those hips, the barrel right to the ball. Hit it on the sweet spot. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Full extension. Everything was going that way. Didn't pull off it at all.
This is a broken back flare, and it's going to drop over for Cobb's head. And Troy Tulowitzki will go first to third. Miguel Olivo has played 18 games at Coors Field in a Rockies uniform. He has a hit in 16 of those games as he confers with Glenn Allen Hill.
Well, the ball got in on a fastball that ran back to the hands, was off the plate and up a little bit. Same place he threw the first pitch and hooked that one foul. This time he pulled the hands in a little bit more, but because the ball was up, was able to stay through it just a little bit better and hit it right over the head of Furcal.
That'll bring up the 7-hole hitter Ian Stewart, who's 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs against Kuroda. Now Kuroda's going to get a timeout as Rick Honeycutt comes out. Well, we tell you every night, and we live in a state where your windshield gets beat up, especially after a long winter. Repair any damage to your windshield by calling Safelite Elite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com.
Well, this inning's kind of playing out just like last night's first inning did. Both Carlos Gonzalez, Seth Smith scored in the bottom of the first last night. They did it tonight. Miguel Olivo gets a base hit, a couple sacrifice flies, and now all of a sudden Ian Stewart comes up with 2 outs.
Now, the Rockies got 4 runs off Carlos Monasterios, who ended up winning the ball game. He went 5 innings. Problem is they had 1 hit after the 4th inning last night.
And they only have 2 losses here at Coors Field when scoring first. They're 11-2 now.
Stewart takes high, ball 1. The guy at first base, Miguel Olivo, 15 for his last 24 at Coors Field, a .675 batting average. That'll get you called up to the next league.
Whatever that is.
Inside, 2-0. Another thing that should not be lost, Huey, they had to use a lot of folks in the bullpen last night. The next pitch is number 28 here in the first inning for Kuroda.
And it's kind of like the repeat performance of how he pitched out in L.A. We had trouble throwing strikes, a lot of them. And now all of a sudden, if you can get through this inning and you put a lot of pressure on Kuroda, it makes Joe Torre think, well, man, how am I going to have to use my bullpen later on?
He goes off speed, 2-0. Drops it in there. It's 2-1 on Stewart. 5 ribbies his last 6 games. Outfield very deep for the Rockies' third baseman, who put on a show defensively last night. 2-2.
Swing was just a little too hard for Ian.
Two and two, runners at first and third, 2-0 Colorado. And it's 3-2. It bears repeating. Jeff Hughes mentioned it a couple times. Kuroda walked 5 against the Rockies, 15 though through 10 ball games, and he's had a lot of deep counts, and he's already walked 1 in this game.
Yeah, the most he had prior to that 5 was just 2 in a ball game. And 3 games where he's just walked, or excuse me, 4 games where he's just walked 1 guy.
Olivo will be running, and a ground ball deep in the hole. And Furcal sets his feet. Oh, we get the out call at first. A very close call. And had Stewart gotten the safe call, Rockies would have another run. But it was the right call by I'd like to write in chips here. My personal preference.
That's not part of it.
I can guarantee that I'm not voting for cotton candy. Not a cotton candy guy, Huey.
Me neither. I would vote for the pretzels, but we'll let the fans decide.
I really don't like either club. Let's take a look at our brackets and our Breaks Plus Saturday Night Food Poll. Hot dogs beat brats. Barbecue last week in Kansas City. Maybe influenced by where we were.
Sure.
Beat pizza. It was Cracker Jacks over popcorn. Swung on and missed by James Loney. It's 0-2. So what do we have? What do we have coming up next week? We got hamburgers and chicken.
Ooh.
Good stuff. Breaks Plus celebrating 20 years. Rolling back prices during May only. Get $49 semi-metallic brakes, $69 lifetime brakes. And a ground ball to Ty Help. Casey Blake will be coming up with one out, and let's visit with Alana Rizzo again. Alana.
All right, guys, I wanted to weigh in on the Breaks Plus poll as well. Here's the thing with me and cotton candy. You really have no choice. You just have a choice in color. It's either blue or pink. So it's either boy or girl cotton candy. The pretzel, a little bit more options. You can do the cheese cup. You could do salt, no salt. I'm going to go with the pretzel as well. But again, it's not about us. It's about the fans. So text in cotton candy rocks 1, pretzel rocks 2 to 95323 and see who can win out this week. But as for me, I'm going for pretzel. I'm with my guys upstairs.
Cotton candy, you know, even as a kid, I don't think I like cotton candy much.
Kids love it, though.
Oh, my littlest Gabe, he wants to have cotton candy. He thinks it's one of the food groups.
It isn't?
Well,
to a kid it is.
To a kid it is, you're right. 2-0 on Blake, solid numbers. The former Indian. Done a really good job coming over from Cleveland to LA. They've won a lot more than they've lost with Casey Blake in the lineup.
Well, especially the last 11 ball games, 17 for 42, hitting .405. When you can hit him anywhere in the lineup, that's the thing. For Joe Torre, you can slide him up to 3. We saw him hit 8th last year, 5th, 6th. Low maintenance guy.
Line drive over the head of Stewart. And Smith will go and fetch it out of the corner. It's a double with 1 out.
11th double on the season now for Casey Blake.
And that'll bring up a left-handed bat, Blake DeWitt.
Sinker that didn't sink. Just stayed up there. Casey Blake turned on it, hit it over the head of Ian Stewart, and with the way the wind's blowing, the way that he kind of hooked that ball a little bit, all it does is chase down into the corner. Seth Smith can just run over there and cut it off and get it in. Good thing he got it before it got to that wall and kicked right around the corner.
DeWitt came up as a third baseman. He's been converted to second because they had a need there. And this ball's hit pretty well to Smith in left, and he goes back and makes the catch. Tonight, you do not want to play in the outfield.
No, because that ball is going to be doing all sorts of dancing up there with the wind. We've already seen a couple balls. The one that Brad Hopp hit, and that last ball to Seth Smith. Just doesn't play like a normal day.
Joe Torre, who's 5th all-time in managerial victories with 2,273. I think sometimes plays things a little bit like an American League manager, in that A.J. Ellis has all of 5 at-bats this month.
He had to start earlier this month, but he had almost gone 1 month in between starts. He had a start in April at the second back game of a doubleheader, and then another one just about 2 weeks ago. That just shows you how much Russell Martin plays.
Well, he has the misfortune of playing behind the most durable catcher in the game in Russell Martin. But Joe Torre, and the reason I mentioned the American League side of things is that sometimes the 24th, 25th guy in the American League won't get a lot of run.
Been there, yeah. I understand what that is, because you can run your lineup out there, or if you decide to give a guy a day off, it might be in a DH role. Not a whole lot of double switching going on.
No, and A.J. Ellis, the backup catcher,
Yeah.
he's not going to come in and get a
Not
chance
when you only
to
have
hit.
two.
Yeah. That's in there.
Fans Coca-Cola value packs available June 7th through the 10th. Include tickets, food, and much, much more.
And Martin, who virtually plays every day, not starting tonight. I think the biggest reason is he's 1 for 18 lifetime against Aaron Cook.
Yeah, Joe Torre told him after yesterday's ball game, you're not playing tomorrow.
Ground ball right side. Barmes retreats and throws to first. So Blake, who doubled with 1 out, is stranded at second. Middle of 2, Rockies and Aaron Cook ahead 2-0. This week, Ian Stewart. And how about this catch by Seth Smith? Coming hard, slide catch. Well done. That was on Tuesday against Arizona. This may be my favorite defensive play of the week. Helton, the flip to Beimel with Reed Johnson running. He led him perfectly. The catch. Now Beimel's got to find the bag and avoid the base runner. That was well done. Clutch plays of the week brought to you by AMCO, AAMCO. Rockies got 2 in the first inning. They forced Kuroda to throw 31 pitches. Clint Barmes out of the 8-hole to lead things off. And the slider is hot. That kind of just spun up there. That looked like a cement mixer.
That's not good when it does that.
Last night, as we look at this Colorado Lottery replay, Clint Barmes got all of it to left center field. A fan reached, he didn't reach over, close to reaching over. They reviewed it, and Barmes got his 4th home run of the year. That's in there for a strike. 2-1 from now until June 30th. Replay any of your non-winning scratch tickets at coloradolottery.com. Barmes got that inner half fastball, but it had some sink on it.
Well, that's the only reason he fouled it off, because if that stayed straight, he'd hook one down to left field.
Rockies with the loss yesterday had their 5-game winning streak snapped. They still won 7 of 8. And this ball's hit hard right at Foucault.
Well, so far, the game plan against Kuroda is pretty good. Make him throw a ball that's in the zone. Clint gets on top of this, one hop for called a little drop step. Knows he has plenty of time, then over the top throw to James Loney, but that ball was scalded.
Aaron Cook was funny before the ball game when he was taking his swings. The starting pitcher will always hit before anybody else, so they can go up and relax in the clubhouse during home batting practice. And Cook was going through some of his hunting gear last night in the garage, and he saw a bat there. He picked it up and he said, you know what, I got to get my elbow up a little bit higher. I've kind of lost my power spot. But he was being serious because Aaron takes a lot of pride in his hitting. In fact, as a junior in high school, he led the Hamilton area in hitting at 486, and he beat out Kevin Euclid for the hitting title in that area. Kevin Euclid, a good friend. He played with him in youth baseball 13 through 15, and then they played against each other in high school. So Cook at 486 his junior year and 380 his senior year. And that's in there for a strike. You can change your stance all you want. The thing is, you got to swing the bat, right? 2 outs, and that'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez. Hit by a pitch in the first inning, and he would come around to score on a fielder's choice ground out by Troy Tulowitzki.
In these situations, Carlos likes to be aggressive with the very first pitch. And that's why Kuroda went to the hard slider.
This ball's hammered to right, deep and deep. That's aggressive. He hit that thing through a very stiff breeze. Home run number 7 for Cargo. 3-0 Rockies.
That was just a low line drive that didn't get more than probably 30 feet off the ground, but that thing was hit a ton. Aggressive because there's 2 outs. They threw a slider first pitch. It wasn't even close. Fastball. That's pretty. Just to watch that swing, a little leg kick, and how hard that ball was hit and how loud it sounded.
I was just going to point out that Garrett Anderson had moved in right field. He was playing pretty shallow. He still is, because the wind is really blowing across the diamond right to left. That ball was hit so hard, it didn't matter that if there was a gale force wind.
It could have been a 50-mile-an-hour wind. He still would have cut the teeth of it.
Little pony, as Brad Hoff calls him. 2-1 on Seth Smith.
A pitch on the inside third part of the plate, and he knows exactly what he wants to do with it. They tried to go in, but they wanted to cut the ball in, and it didn't cut. The only thing it did, cut through that wind.
Listen to this on Carlos Gonzalez. He has 18 home runs in his last 84 games played. He had only 6 home runs in his first 130 big league games. So you start looking at 84 games, pretty close to half a season. You're talking about a guy with 30-plus home run pop.
5-tool player, confidence. That's what he's got going for him right now.
See how fast that ball got out.
Get the stopwatch on it. See how quick it gets out. About 3.5 seconds.
Short flight.
Yeah.
Rather
meals
a long,
or beverages.
There's a long flight, but a quick flight. This is going to drop, and it goes all the way to the left. Back check. Playing chase. Seth Smith heading to third with a stand-up triple is still to the unit.
A little strange route from Matt Kemp out in center field.
And that's been one of the criticisms within the Dodger organization this year on last year's Gold Glove center fielder.
Four-seam slider, from the Hyundai camp. Seth Smith drives it much like Carlos did. That ball came inside, and he stayed on it and got that top spin. And then once it hit, it went by Matt Kemp, but that was a strange route. It kind of went over and then had to go back. 17th triple now on the year for the Rockies, tied with Washington. Let's take one more look at this. Notice the route from Matt Kemp goes straight over at the ball instead of giving a little bit of ground. He doesn't get the ground until after it was by him.
And I'll say this for Kemp or any outfielder, it's got to be really difficult tonight.
Oh, sure.
Here's the 1-0 to Helton, and this is hit to Manny Ramirez in left. And fortunately for Manny, it was basically hit right to him. So Smith is left at third, but Carlos Gonzalez got the trot around the bases for the 7th time this year, and the Rockies are enjoying a 3-0 lead through 2 innings of play. Hiroki Kuroda takes strike 1. Pitcher leading off for the Dodgers in the 3rd, Rafael Furcal, Garrett Anderson to follow, Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, Alana Rizzo. Another beautiful crowd at Coors Field last night, more than 40,000, and tonight I imagine we will eclipse the 40,000 mark as well. And Kuroda is behind 1 and 2.
Kuroda 0 for 18 on the season. Not much of a hitter. That's where it's nice to get that number 8 hole hitter when you have Kuroda. Aaron Cook was able to get out of that last inning with the ground ball to get this guy to lead off.
Sharp sinker, 2 and 2. The Dodgers are doing it again inside the division, Jeff. They're 14 and 4 against the NL West. The Rockies were 33 and 39 last year. That's a ball. 3 and 2 are 10 and 9.
Well, that's part of the reason why the Dodgers are a Major League best 18 and 7 in the month of May.
And that's not even close. Aaron Cook has walked a guy who, as Jeff said, was 0 for 18. And that's just not like Aaron Cook.
His 2nd walk tonight. Those are the things that'll drive a pitching coach mad. You have the pitcher there, just, you know, and I understand that Aaron Cook's not trying to go out there and walk it, but he's a Major League pitcher, not able to throw a strike to Kuroda.
Furcal singled leading off the ball game. Broken bat, soft liner to center. And here comes Miguel Oliva. This is kind of what some of the issues were in that 5th inning in Kansas City when Aaron had the big lead and just really struggled to throw strikes. I mean, they're pitchers that you have to be careful with.
Sure. Dan Herron, we saw earlier this homestand.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just throw it right down the middle to him. Hiroki Kuroda, you probably can throw it right down the middle to. Aaron Cook in his career has been given a 5+ run lead 34 times. He's 32-0 with 2 no decisions. And one of those no decisions in his last outing against Kansas City. He had a 9-run lead. It happens.
It does. It does. But that's part of Aaron on the road more than anything this year. And going into last year, his last 9 road starts, doesn't have a win.
Nope. And at home this year in 3 starts, he has a very, very solid 3.00 ERA. 1-2 on for Kyle. Helton playing behind Kuroda, 2-2.
Rockies dugout stores have everything you need to get geared up for this summer.
Two balls, 2 strikes on for Kyle. No Andre Ethier for the Dodgers till Monday.
Another game down in Memphis, playing for the Albuquerque Isotopes, Dodgers AAA ball club.
He had a hit last night.
1 for 2. Memphis has a very nice park. Very nice park to go down there and do your rehab. It's not the big leagues.
No, but I'll tell you what's a nice park. The Isotopes.
Isotopes do. Yep.
Rockies, Seattle were there for a couple ball games before the season started. And that's a base hit to left. Just think about that Kuroda walk. I mean, there aren't many freebies at this level, but that's an out. It's got to be an out. And instead, you have 2 on and nobody out instead of 1 on and 1 out.
And now you're starting to come to the meat part of the lineup for the Dodgers. You got 2, 3, 4 coming up.
They got it. Yep. They run that pick play. It's a timing play with Tulowitzki as well as any I've ever seen.
Especially these 2 guys. They just have that chemistry where they know when he's going to break. The spin move right on the money. Troy, all he has to do is apply the tag. The other thing too is pitchers aren't used to being out there quite as much, so they feel like they have to get off there a little bit further off the bag. And then you run that play, and then they just get caught.
Garrett Anderson at the plate didn't see a strike his first time up. Still hasn't seen a strike. That was an odd first inning, Jeff, because Furcal had a base hit. Garrett Anderson walked on 4 pitches. Ramirez hit a ball to the wall in right, and then Kemp grounded into a 5-4-3 double play. In that inning, Aaron Cook threw only 3 strikes.
Yeah, he got out of that without giving up a run and only seeing 4 batters. And that was a nice turn from Ian Stewart over to Clint Barmas.
More than 2,500 hits in the career of Garrett Anderson. Two and 1. Numbers against Aaron Cook, not good. 0 for 7. 3-time All-Star. 02, 03, again in 05 with the Angels.
Kind of a quiet 2,500 hits.
If there is such a thing, I agree with you.
I mean, I knew he played a long time, former teammate of mine, and it seemed like every year he went out there and put up some good numbers, but I was a little shocked when I saw that number.
Jim, if you look at the Angels record book, Garrett Anderson figures prominently on virtually every offensive list. In fact, he's their all-time leader in games, hits, runs, doubles, and RBIs, just south of 1,300.
Well, he's just a quiet guy that goes out and does his job. There's no chest thumping or anything with Garrett Anderson. That's just not his style.
Yeah, he's more old school.
Yeah, he's very old school. He shows up every day and goes about his business and kind of keeps to himself except for around his teammates.
And this ball is lifted to center field. Carlos Gonzalez now coming in will make the catch. That's why I described yesterday that he forged a very quick and close relationship with Chipper Jones because they're cut from the same cloth.
Right. Just old school guys. Let's go out and play the game, play it the right way.
The Boos greet Manny Ramirez. Let's take a look at our Excel Energy fun fact all-time home run list, 11 through 15. Palmeiro at 569. Tomey has joined him there. Reggie Jackson. Manny Ramirez moved ahead of the Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt yesterday with that 2-run home run, which was the difference in the game as it turned out, against Jeff Francis in the 6th inning. Did you know that you could sign up for an in-home energy audit and learn simple ways to save around your house from Excel Energy? Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Manny hit the ball well. His first time up, drove hop to the wall in right.
I had a chance to talk to Jeff Francis today about that home run that he gave up to Manny, and there was some question whether, should have Jim Tracy taken him out sooner? Should he have done this and that? Was he getting tired? Did he need to go to the bullpen? Jeff said no. He goes, I'm a big league pitcher. I wasn't tired. I just put a pitch in a bad spot. That was all it was. You can second guess in this game all you want after the fact.
Do you know what? He was terrific for 5 innings. He gave up the home run to Kemp, and then in the 6th, the ball came up a little bit, and the Dodgers got after it. To the Dodgers' credit.
Yeah, Jeff said he just worked underneath the ball a little bit, just didn't get on top of it enough. It had nothing to do with him being tired or 85 pitches or whatever he was at.
One thing Jim Tracy will do with a Jeff Francis and Aaron Cook, obviously Ubaldo Jimenez, he's going to give them every opportunity to work out of things. And one of the things I've always held to, and the Rockies' bullpen's been terrific this year, but by and large, and I mean this is not a shot at the guys that come in the 5th or 6th inning out of the bullpen, but the guys that you're paying most of the time much larger salaries to start games, the reason they're in there as starters is because their stuff's better than the guy you're going to call on in the 5th or 6th inning out of the pen. That's why those guys work in that situation.
And that's also what Jim Tracy tried to instill in his starters when he first got this managing job a year ago, that, hey, I want my starters to go deeper in the ball game. Okay, I'm not going to worry so much about, this 100-pitch limit or 110, whatever it is. I want you to go out there with the mindset that you're going to finish that ball game. If I have to come and get you before then that's a different story. But don't go out there saying, 6 innings is a quality start and that's all I have to do and we'll turn it over to the bullpen. That happens sometimes. Jim wants those guys to go 7, 8 innings, 9 innings if they can.
And Olivo blocks it, and a good read by Furcal. He's going to move up. So he's in scoring position. 1-2 count on Manny Ramirez. And one more thought. That'll be a wild pitch, by the way. One more thought on what we're discussing, and that is Jim Tracy wants to give every opportunity for a starting pitcher either to win or not get hurt by the decision. So his philosophy is, if I go and get the baseball from a starter and he's watching on TV or in the dugout, the bullpen comes in and gives up a couple of his inherited runners, if you will, and that's how he ends up losing the game. He said, I'd rather that guy be responsible for getting himself out of it and his final outcome that night.
And the other thing some people don't know too is who's available down in the bullpen. You might be a couple guys short that nobody knows about other than the manager.
This is a broken back fly ball to shallow center. Cargo coming hard, lays out. He made the catch. Wow! What a grab by Carlos Gonzalez.
Superman.
What can he do? What a grab! Well, how about this one? Does that work for you?
Works for me.
How great a catch was that? It saved a run. Carlos Gonzalez laying out after a 40-yard sprint. Home Depot doing more on defense. Troy Tulowitzki leading off in the bottom of the third inning.
I just didn't think there was any way he was going to catch that with the way the wind was blowing. It wasn't hit that hard.
2 in the first against Kuroda for the Rockies. Gonzalez hit a home run in the second. It's 3-0. And Tulowitzki deep in the hole for Kyle. Long throw, strong out. And Loney, who normally has very sure hands. That was weird. I don't know if that ball ever skipped. He didn't come up with it. We'll have to look again. I thought the ball got all the way there in the air.
I think it might have short hopped just a little bit. We'll get a good look here on this replay. Ball hit hard in the hole for Call. He goes over and stabs and tries to set his feet, make the strong throw. Yeah, it was a little bit of a short hop from Call, but what an effort. We've seen some good defense out there. Loney tried to go up and scoop it, but it was an in-between hop.
So here's Brad Hopp, who hit a long sac fly to deep left center his first time up on a 3-0 pitch. Ball 1. We have a developing story in baseball. Through 8 innings of play, Roy Halladay has a perfect game going in Florida.
10 strikeouts.
And this is a double play ball. Two outs. That'll bring up Miguel Olivo. Halladay, perfect through 8. Brett Hayes, Cameron Maben, and the pitcher spot due up for Florida in the bottom of the 9th inning. Philadelphia is still hitting with 2 outs. And again, you're not talking about a blowout. It's a 1-0 game.
The only thing is not many people are going to see it because it's in Florida.
You know, there's not a lot of people in the ballpark.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I mean.
They draw a little bit better when some of those Northeast teams come in, New York and Philadelphia.
They're still waiting kind of for that new ballpark to open up.
Yeah, Miguel Olivo, big swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Really been one perfect game this year.
What was that? That one was in Oakland. Dallas Braden.
Dallas Braden, who nobody had ever heard of till 2 weeks prior to that when he got after A-Rod for crossing a mound on a foul ball. Slowly hit to Furcal. And throw safe at first. And kids, look at how Miguel Olivo went up the line. Routine ground ball to short, and he was busting it. And the reason he's safe is because he was running hard.
That's right. 7th error of the season now on Furcal. This should be a easy ground ball out. Comes and charges it and then sets his feet. And right now goes, uh-oh, he's running hard. I got to throw it a little bit harder. When you do that, you yank the ball. And the other thing Furcal could have done is he was coming in, just make the off-balance throw and get rid of it. Good for Miguel Olivo to just, like you said, Drew, to bust it down the line.
It's a running situation for him also at some point, perhaps in this at-bat with Stewart. Kuroda listened to the advanced scouting report as he immediately checks out Miguel Olivo.
Miguel, 4 stolen bases on the season.
High, ball 1. Well, Philadelphia has been retired in the top of the 9th in South Florida. So the Marlins coming up. Roy Halladay again, perfect through 8. Olivo not going, and that pitch is outside. It's 2-0.
The next pitch for Kuroda is going to be number 60.
Line drive, left field. Miguel Olivo is going to go first to third on Manny Ramirez. And Ian Stewart keeps the inning going, passes the baton to Clint Barnes.
Well, if they're going to keep pitching you away, you've got to take the ball the other way. Toward strike zone, everything was away. Kuroda misses location, and Ian Stewart stayed on. Nice inside out stroke, hit it to left field. Miguel Olivo had reached on the air, hustling all the way over to third.
Barmes, a ground ball to short, his first time up. Rockies up 3-0. First and third, 2 outs in the third. And a line drive, base hit for Clint Barmes. Olivo comes home, 4-0. Now how large was that error on Rafael Furcal?
Kept the inning going. And allowed Clint Barmes to drive in his 22nd run of the season. Kuroda just really hasn't been able to hit his spots much tonight at all. Fastball to Clint Barmes, pulls those hands in, drives it to left field, driving in Miguel Olivo.
Aaron Cook struck out looking his first time up. Stewart at second, Barmes at first. 4-0 Rockies. And that's in there for a strike.
Well, if nothing else, you get through the pitcher spot.
And a fly ball to the warning track, folks, produces the first out in the 9th inning. So 2 outs away. Roy Halladay from perfection. This is going to die in the gap in left center field. Here comes Stewart to the house. Barnes to third. Aaron Cook with his first RBI of the year. 5-0 Colorado.
we talk about all the time, taking advantage of the other team's mistakes. Well, right now the Rockies have. Another mislocation from Kuroda, hanging slider. Aaron Cook waits back, dumps it into left field. 2 unearned runs now in the inning for the Rockies, but that's what you have to do at this level. The other teams are going to give you a 28th out, extra out in the inning, then you take advantage of it, and so far the Rockies have done that.
Scott Elbert, who was just called up from Albuquerque. Down in Fort Lauderdale, Wes Helms is at the plate against Roy Halladay. And he's behind 0-2. Nevada West, Roy Halladay, 2 outs away from a perfect game. It would be the second this year. What do you think the grand total of the fans in Oakland and whatever they're called, that stadium the Marlins are playing in this year?
Was it Landshark this year, or was that last year?
And that was I think it's this year too. Carlos Gonzalez, runners at first and third. He had a bullet in the seats his last time up, and he fouls this one off. Strike 3 on Wes Helms. Folks, I'm giving you play-by-play for 2 ball games. I apologize, but perfect games happen not so often. There's been 19 in the history of the game, and now Roy Halladay, with his long Colorado ties, is 1 out away. 0-1 on Cargo. Here's our Coors Light cold hard blast. This was a cold hard blast. 3rd inning with 2 outs. Rocket in the seats, home run number 7. One and 1 count. And a ground ball to second. In the inning, the Rockies come up with 2 runs to extend their lead to 5-0. A little help for Kyle Aaron. Here's Ronnie Paulino, 1-2 pitch.
Hit toward third. Castro has it. Spins, fires. A perfect game! Roy Halladay has thrown the second perfect game in Philadelphia Phillies history. He faces 27 batters. He retires all 27.
That is something else. Congratulations to Arvada West's Roy Halladay. 27 up, 27 down. Jim Bunning had the other perfect game in Phillies history. It is the first time since 1880 that there have been 2 perfect games in one season. We're not yet out of May. Dallas Braden had one a short while ago for the Athletics. There have been 20 in the history of the game, 18 since 1900.
But you knew that Roy had the stuff to do it. I mean, if you could sit there and go, name me 2 or 3 pitchers that are pitching right now who has a chance to throw a perfect game, he would be on that short list.
Well, because he doesn't walk guys, and his stuff, that's a foul ball. And his stuff, as we all know, is tremendous.
Yeah, all 4 pitches. I mean, he's got the slider and the fastball. It's really funny because that question was asked to me today, who has the best command? Just during batting practice today, and I answered Roy Halladay. Little did I know he was going to go out and throw it. But that's the mentality you have going into a ball game. Who's the best pitcher? Who's this or that? Roy Halladay is at the top of my list.
Sure, and you know a guy that normally I would include in that group is the guy the Rockies beat the other day, Dan Herron, whose command is now just off a little bit, and the results have been not what you'd expect from Dan Herron, but a guy that fills up the strike zone.
It just shows
with
you how
nasty stuff.
The fine line at the major league level between being perfect and getting 4 home runs hit off you.
And you've been in some no-hitters and played behind Nolan Ryan, and it wasn't a perfect game situation. Here's the 3-2 to Kemp, and that is a foul ball also. But that's nerve-wracking for the other 8 guys out there.
It is, because it's very difficult, because all of a sudden you're sitting there and you talk about the no-hitters, you talk about the perfect games, and you're sitting there going, man, I don't want to be the guy that messes this up. And perfect game's even worse than a no-hitter because there's nobody out, no walks, nothing. At least in Nolan's games there was a walk in there, so you kind of felt like, okay, I don't want to mess this up, but not the pressure of a perfect game.
Yeah, because there's still pressure, because if you had one of those plays, a do-or-die play, you don't know how they're going to score it. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on the official score to say, hey, that really was a hit.
Or an error, or what was it?
This is a fair ball, finally, to Ian Stewart, and Matt Kemp is retired. But I got to tell you, whenever you're talking about something that's happened 20 times in the history of the sport, and only 18 times in the last 110 years, it's really remarkable, and it's neat because we've gotten to know Roy Halladay a little bit. He's everything you want in a ball player.
Well, sure, and then also to have it happen just twice since, what'd you say, 1880. I mean, that's the other phenomenal thing about it. And you know, good for Roy Halladay and all his people and all his family and friends and everybody that still roots for the guy from Colorado.
And somewhere in the back of his mind, and Jeff, why don't you relate this from a player's perspective? Oh, by the way, it's only 1-0. You're trying to win a ball game.
That's the other thing, too, because sometimes in those perfect games or no-hitters, it's 5-6-0, whatever it is. But to be a 1-0 ball game, and you're sitting there going, okay, one swing of the bat, he loses the no-hitter, the perfect game, and, oh, by the way, the score's tied.
Yeah. 1-1 on James Loney. 2-1. An additional footnote, Jeff, in that ball game. Josh Johnson pitched really well. 7 innings of 1-run baseball. He gave up 7 hits. The run that scored for Philadelphia was an unearned run. 3-1.
So far this year we've had a no-hitter, 2 perfect games.
Yeah. Ronnie just covered his eyes. He said, "Are you kidding me?"
Well, to make a play like that, you have to anticipate where the ball is and where it's going and read the swing, and that's what Troy did. Fastball away from Loney. He hits that way 1 step, 2 steps, and then he dives. Good thing he's got that long glove, and he's 6'3". We've seen 2 of the best plays we've seen all year in 2 innings here.
Yeah, that catch by Carlos Gonzalez to end last inning to rob Manny Ramirez of a bloop single that would have scored a run. And now that play there to take a hit from James Loney. Casey Blake doubled his first time. That's a strike. You know how you described that play by Tulowitzki, studying hitters, but also knowing what pitch was called, maybe being able to shade half a step in one direction. You don't have to be the quickest or the fastest necessary to play in the middle of the diamond, do you?
No, you got to have your brain too.
5-0 Rockies. Get 40% more for your gold. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo again.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Earlier, you guys were talking about how young A.J. Ellis is the Dodgers' backup catcher to Russell Martin. I talked to him earlier today about just making a handful of starts with this organization and what both Russell Martin and Brad Ausmus have taught him. He said, Russell Martin has taught me how to be a tireless worker and how to keep my body in phenomenal shape. Nobody works harder than anybody that he's ever seen. He said, as far as Brad Ausmus goes, he said, well, he's taught me the mental side of the game, how to prepare, how to not overanalyze, and really to understand the most important thing I can do is understand my pitcher's strengths, guys.
Well, Russell Martin's a fine player, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a catcher that has this ball hit well by Smith to Manny in left and against the catcher. You'd be hard-pressed to find a catcher with more wisdom than Brad Ausmus. Ausmus is hurt and has been hurt this year. It's why A.J. Ellis is in the big leagues right now. If he so desired, Brad Ausmus could manage one day. I don't know if he will. He's got a ton of money, I'm sure. Dartmouth grad.
It's the first time in his career that he's on the DL. So that has allowed the door to open up for A.J. Ellis. But Brad Ausmus, all those years in Houston, that's why he's such a valuable guy to have on your club.
Helton with the hard-won hoppers out, and that'll bring up Troy Tulowitzki. An RBI fielder's choice in the first and a base hit in the third. Well, this game somewhat similar to last night, and hopefully a far different result. Rockies led 4-0 at this juncture last night. Up 5-0 against Hiroki Kuroda.
Well, that was one of my Suzuki keys tonight. Finish strong, though. Just because you have the lead, keep going, keep getting some more. And don't allow the Dodgers to get back into the ball game.
This ball driven to left field indeed. Ramirez going back, and he's going to have a play. And that baseball, another victim of the wind. That would have been out. 5-0. Fastest 3G network, AT&T. A better 3G experience. By Brakes Plus, a whole lot more. By Dex One, marketing solutions, business results. And by Yokohama Tires, technology drives better tires. Breezy night at Coors Field. Aaron Cook at times has battled some command issues, but he's working on a 5-0 shutout. First hitter in the 5th inning will be Blake DeWitt. 7-8-9 for Los Angeles here in the 5th. DeWitt hit a fly ball to Seth Smith his first time, and this is a fly ball in the direction of Carlos Gonzalez. Take a look at our Geico quote of the day. Yeah, we're quoting the Hall of Fame manager of the Dodgers, Tommy Lasorda. When we lose, I eat. When we win, I eat. I also eat when we're rained out. And the lovable Tommy Lasorda, if you've checked out his physique, you would not argue with that appraisal of when he eats. Our Geico quote of the day.
Every time we're out in LA, he's still at the ballpark all the time.
A.J. Ellis, ground ball to second his first time up. Ground ball to second his second time up. Let's take a look at our Brakes Plus poll of the game. See what's happening in the food wars. Cotton candy versus pretzels tonight. And it's pretzels by a 2-1 margin. Because the kids aren't allowed to text. They don't have cell phones. Now, if all the 5-year-olds out there had cell phones, it'd be overwhelmingly in favor of cotton candy. They
can text. The problem is they got all that cotton candy stuff on their fingers, so the buttons don't work.
They ruined the buttons. 0-1 on Kuroda.
You just wait till your kids get the texting.
Ground ball to second, and very quick. An easy inning for Aaron Cook. Safely through the 5th. Rockies 5, Dodgers nothing. Brad Hop, Miguel Olivo, Ian Stewart next inning. 470 Road Ahead, brought to you by E470. Quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. Rockies will conclude this 3-game set with the Dodgers tomorrow afternoon, and it's off to San Francisco. And we're looking forward to that Memorial Day matchup in the afternoon right here on FSN. Ubaldo Jimenez going for his 10th win of the year against Tim Lincecum. Rockies are going to see top shelf pitching. You always do when you see the Giants these days. They're going to see Zito on Tuesday, Matt Cain, Huey on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you get in the National League West, though. You get the good pitching. The Giants, especially with what they've been able to roll out there with those guys, that will be a special one on Monday. Although Lincecum lately has given up quite a few walks. 9 in his last 2 starts.
Brad Hopp fouls it off. Back-to-back Cy Youngs for Lincecum, and he got off to a fast start this year. And anytime a guy who's been that good has an outing or two that's not real strong, the questions quickly are, what's the matter with? What's happened to?
Are they not giving him enough rest?
1-2 on Hop. 2-2.
For the best ticket value, purchase season tickets or prorated mini plan packages.
Good job by Hop staying off the pitch that would have been very difficult to contact. 3-2.
You wouldn't have been able to. You would have been walking back to the dugout right now. You just can't get your hands in close enough to your body to foul it off.
That was a pitch he could handle, and he was right on it. Fastball at 93 from Kuroda. Kuroda's career. I got to do this a little slowly, a little more slower. Hold on a second. Time out. I'm going to take a break. I have to do this again. He has an ERA, Hiroki Kuroda does, of .694 against the Rockies, and this ball is ripped to center field. Kent fields it on a hop. Get it back for Brad Hop. And the ERA has gone up tonight with 5 runs in 4+ innings.
To his defense, only 3 of them have been earned tonight. Scott Albert up tossing for the 3rd time tonight. He was up last inning if something were to happen. Back up again.
Miguel Olivo a single, and then he reached on the error by Rafael Furcal, and he forced the error, I think, a little bit in that. Furcal, you know that you were shortstop.
They sure did.
This ball to third to left. He looked up and he said, wow, this guy's
running hard.
Running really hard up the line. Two on for Ian Stewart with nobody out. Time for our AT&T trivia question. The Rockies have homered in 11 straight. What's the club record for consecutive games with a home run? An appropriate question. The Rockies have 18 home runs. That includes tonight over their last 11 ball games. The home run tonight came in the 2nd inning from Carlos Gonzalez.
Troy with 5 home runs in his last 8 or 9 ball games. Those are the guys that are starting to really heat up now.
I want to throw something out. We were talking about this the other day, and I said, hey, we don't usually pay attention until maybe the 2nd, 3rd week of June. However, we're going to get a pitching change. Joe Torre's coming out. I just want to throw this out there because we're almost at the beginning of June. That man, if he keeps this up, he will be a very strong candidate to be an all-star.
Should be with those numbers.
Look at catcher numbers in the National League. Over 300, 8 home runs, 20+ RBIs, the steals. He's thrown out more runners than anybody in baseball.
54%.
Just food for thought here.
Just saying.
Just saying. We'll come back, tell you about the pitching changes. The Rockies have run off Hiroki Kuroda. The Colorado Lottery. Don't forget to play. By Big Brothers Big Sisters, be big and donate your car. You get a free tow and tax break, and you'll help change a kid's life. And by the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Call 303-571-1114 and ask about our hometown sports package. Scott Elbert, and the hard slider is over the head of Ian Stewart, ball one. Elbert just called back to the big leagues yesterday. Two lefties in that bullpen, Elbert and Hung-Chi Kuo.
With George Sherrill going on the DL, they needed another left-hander, and Scott Elbert, former first-round pick, got the call.
And George Sherrill, who was very good last year, late in the season after being acquired from Baltimore, basically went on the DL, Huey, with a bruised ERA.
Ego?
That too.
Just didn't pitch up to his standards what he did last year.
And to his credit, he said as much when he went on the DL.
Sure.
He said, I'm just searching right now. I don't know what the deal is.
Well, we saw Kuo last night come in late, strike out Todd Helton with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Troncoso and Belisario also pitched, along with Jonathan Broxton. Let's hope we don't get to those guys again.
Well, you make a great point. It's like the old line. I forget which player it was attributed to, some Hall of Fame hitter, and said, how do you hit the curveball? He said, I don't. I hit the fastball. And you know how you beat the Dodgers? You don't let Jonathan Broxton get the ball game.
No, because the numbers, what he's doing again, are starting to be all-star worthy.
That's ball four. Elbert way out of the strike zone, and now the bases are loaded. Nobody out for Clint Varmus. AT&T trivia question. We've given you some time to think about it. The Rockies have homered in 11 straight, including tonight. What's the club record for consecutive games? Well, you go back to the 90s, and in the inaugural season of 93, they hit a home run at 17 straight, and then things heated up in the summer of 96, 17 straight. And this ball in the air to right. And we'll see if it's deep enough. Brad Hobb decides not to go. Garrett Anderson got the ball back in. Now Aaron Cook will be coming up. Colorado Lottery replay. Aaron Cook's got an RBI tonight. Third inning. Fly drive to left center field. Here's a, Cook made a little adjustment with his hands.
He got it up. He got his hands just a little bit higher, able to stay on top of the ball. Back to that old bat, too.
He was talking about that last night. And Aaron Cook may have another RBI. Oh, the catch is made. That was well done by Blake DeWitt. With his back completely to home plate, he makes the catch, and now there are 2 outs. Carlos Gonzalez will come up.
This is a difficult play because of the wind that we've been talking about all night. Blake DeWitt just keeps going back there, makes the over-the-shoulder catch, and Vasquez and pulls it into his stomach. All the while as goes down on his knees and slide to keep the runners where they're at.
You know, Garrett Anderson has not had a lot of field time. And go back to the fly ball by Barnes, kind of medium range right field. Brad Hopp at third. You have the pitcher coming up next. Is it a place, and I know it's a 5-run lead already, but still, this is a very potent Dodger offense, one of the best lineups in the National League, and you're still in the middle innings. Is that a place where maybe you want to push the envelope?
Sure, because you already have the lead. You're up 5-0. Go ahead and throw, and Garrett Anderson's more of a left fielder. Just started to play right field this year.
Carlos Gonzalez has torn up lefties this year to a .367 tune. .2-0 pitch to work with the bases loaded. And the right hand came off the bat.
You don't see the bottom hand come off the bat too often. You'll see that top hand come off, not the bottom hand. Monday Cam will show the look and way that bottom hand came off. It's just kind of strange that happens. It does. Sometimes you let go of the bat.
That's a strike. 2-2. You didn't see him grimace, which is a good thing because he's had the wrist injury. I'm sure you swung awkwardly sometimes and you feel the pain shoot through the wrist area.
Oh, just a sharp pain, and get a little bit of the heat pain in there too. Boy, he covered that fastball away at 93. Look at the side. The way he gets that leg kick going, that was different that time from a swing a couple swings ago where his bottom hand came off. That time his top hand came off after the swing. That's the one that normally will.
No swing, and it's full. 3-2.
This is the line you're going to look for right there. Did the barrel go past that line? No, it did not. Good view from the Southwest Sky Cam.
3-2, bases loaded, 2 outs in the 5th. 5-0 Colorado. And another foul ball, and that took the mask of Mark Wegner, the home plate umpire, off his head.
And that's why A.J. Ellis is going out there. Probably mark a little time, double check, make sure all those bars still are in place. Mark doesn't have a whole lot of protection. It doesn't even go off the glove of A.J. Ellis because he's setting up right on the right shoulder to get that inside look.
High ball four. Carlos Gonzalez with his 32nd RBI. The Rockies with their 6th run. You didn't want to see the Rockies have bases loaded, nobody out, and get nothing for it. Brad Hopp coming to the dugout.
Well, Carlos was patient that time.
He doesn't walk a lot.
No, he doesn't, especially with the 3-2 count. You get amped up. You feel like, okay, this is the one. That's what I want to do. Just the 7th walk this season for Carlos Gonzalez, the point that you were talking about, Drew.
So Seth Smith will take his turn. It's been a nice ball game for Smith. We've said that with great regularity the last few weeks. Single, triple, and a fly ball to left field for Smith. Just his 18th at bat this year against a lefty, and he takes ball 1.
Well, he was just too good of a hitter to be hitting down into the 220s. With his swing, his approach, the short, compact thing with some power behind it. And now each game he goes out there, a couple hits, that average climbing up to 270 now.
Slider right at the belt. It's 1-1. Now Smith, over his last 18 ball games coming in, was hitting .316. The average will go up a little bit with the work tonight. Good swing. 1-2. Here comes another. Stewart crosses. It's a 2-run single for Smith. He's got 22 ribbies, and the Rockies lead the Dodgers 8-0.
Well, 3 runs now scored with 2 outs. Nothing wrong with the pitch from Albert. Just a piece of hitting from Seth Smith was better. Away from him, takes that top end off and just serves one over to left field. I'm laughing because that was like a punch shot in tennis.
You know what? That was a slice backhand. You're absolutely right. Well, we've got tacos, fans. The Rockies have scored runs. 8 of them right now. Don't forget to go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6. You can get your Rockies Taco Special. Well, stays off that. It's 1-0. Todd a walk in the first. Fly ball left field. Ground ball to third. Runners at first and third. So a moment ago, Jeff, it looked like the Rockies would load the bases with nobody out. May not get anything for their efforts. Good swing by Todd. 2-1.
And those are the kinds of things, if you don't score after having the bases loaded, it kind of demoralizes you and picks up the other team. Now it works just the opposite, because the Dodgers are sitting there going, we were this close to getting out of that without giving up some runs. And now all of a sudden you find yourself down 8-0.
2-1. The book is closed on Kuroda. He gives up 7 runs, 5 earned in 4+. 10 hits. The most consistent Dodger starter this year. And that's ball 4. And Troy Tulowitzki, for the second time the ball game, will come up with a small village on base.
If you want to make one final statement, now would be it. Just put the last little bit of icing on the cake, drive in a couple more runs. Justin Miller.
Well, I mean, that's 3 walks since Elbert came in. Joe Torre's forced to go and get the baseball from Scott Elbert. Rockies up 8-0. They've out-hit Los Angeles 11-3. Last year he was in 44 ball games. He was just called to the big leagues. And he'll face Troy Tulowitzki. Gonzalez at third, Smith at second, Helton at first, 2 outs in the 5th inning. Elbert got 2 outs. He gave up the slice backhand single from Seth Smith. He walked 3.
Well, that's why Joe had to go get him.
And it's 2-0. Did Brad Hopkins score?
Yeah.
Well, he's on that circle.
Well, that's a good thing for the Rockies.
Again, there's Gonzalez, Smith, and Helton. Here's the 2-0 to Tulowitzki. Miller's a guy who always wears sleeves, even if it's 120 degrees out. He has to. Major league rule because he has tattoos that go down basically past his wrist onto his hands.
His nickname is the Human Tattoo. That just gives you an idea how many he has.
And you can see on his hands.
Justin's pitched for 6 Major League seasons, some with the Blue Jays, Marlins, Giants most recently.
Here's the 2-2. Rockies are being led in the RBI department by their leadoff hitter Carlos Gonzalez, who has 32. But they now all of a sudden have a bunch of guys in that 20-plus range. Smith, Tulowitzki, Miguel Olivo, Ian Stewart, Clint Barnes.
22 RBIs and 19 of them out of that number 8 spot for Clint.
And this is popped up in foul ground. Loney's going to have a play. And Tulowitzki spikes his helmet in anger. Rockies get 3. They're up 8-0. Back, 2nd inning, Carlos Gonzalez. That's a goner. 7th home run of the year for Gonzalez. And then Clint Barnes driving in a run. Rockies have 6 runs tonight with 2 outs. How about Aaron Cook getting involved? And then maybe our favorite hit of the night, that beautiful backhand swing from Seth Smith. Rockies had a ton of offense, and Aaron Cook has been able to shut down a very good Dodger attack. Rockies up 8-0. That look back brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. Go see them on Broadway in Littleton. And that pitch on the outside corner for a strike to Rafael Furcal, who has 2 of the 3 hits tonight against Aaron. The only other hit, a Casey Blake double in the 2nd inning. And this is a soft fly ball that is going to be grabbed by Carlos Gonzalez. 1 out.
That ball wasn't hit all that hard, so Carlos had to try to figure out, was it going to get out there to him, and then he just made up with it with those wheels. I was interested to see how Aaron Cook might come out this inning after having to sit and run the bases a little bit and stuff like that with that long last half inning. What would he do? He came out through 2 quick strikes.
Yes, one of those typically low pitch count outings so far for Aaron Cook. When he's on his game, he works quickly and he works efficiently. He's thrown 69 pitches with 1 out in the 6th inning.
Let's hope that double play that he had in that first, and then a great play from Carlos robbed Manny Ramirez of the hit back in the 3rd.
Colorado trying to turn the tables on the Dodgers. Last 26 meetings going back to 2008. The Dodgers have won 20 of them. 0-1 on Garrett Anderson. 0-2 on Garrett Anderson. Actually, that's 0-3. Scoreboard was wrong. I forgot a strike. You only get 3. 2 outs. That'll bring up Manny Ramirez. First strikeout of the ball game for Aaron. Time for tonight's Quest high-speed pitch. Kuroda hit 94. Cook at 91. It's brought to you by Quest, the high-speed internet provider of the Colorado Rockies. Manny Ramirez is 0 for 2. Fly ball to deep right, and then a looping fly ball to shallow right center. Look at this play by Carlos Gonzalez. Colorado lottery replay. Saved a run. From now until June 30th, replay any of your non-winning scratch tickets. Do it at coloradolottery.com. Ball and a strike.
Gil Olivo caught that last ball, I think, right off his big toe. Wegner's giving him a little bit of time to get settled in back there behind home plate. They wanted it away. A Hyundai Cam give us the look that we need. Yep, right off that instep. There's not a whole lot of padding.
Here's the Amica hit zone on Ramirez. And you look at the numbers in Manny's career: 549 home runs, the average above 300.
Well, they just went.
If you compare it to all the greats that hit from the right side of the plate, he's among them.
Yeah, there's not too many that have put up those kind of numbers. He still has that name and reputation. You can start to beat him up a little bit, and you can start to beat him in. But we saw last night, if you make a mistake, he'll make you pay.
Ramirez, coming into the season, had hit .313 in his career. Now more than 8,000 at bats, 549 home runs, and more than 1,800 runs batted in. He started the year 18th on the all-time RBI list. He's currently tied with Frank Robinson for 18th. He has more postseason home runs than anybody in history. 29, 7 more than Bernie Williams.
Most people just think of him as a pure power guy too, that it's a swing and miss or it's a home run. Major league average well over 300, over 1,200 walks in his career. On base percentage over 400.
Ground ball to third. That's fine. It bounced far enough in front. Nice play by Ian Stewart. Ramirez is retired. That is 11 in a row now, set down by Aaron Cook. 8-0. As we check in again with Alana Rizzo. Alana, how much, honestly, how much cotton candy tonight have you consumed?
None. I told you I was a pretzel girl, not a cotton candy person. It's just pure sugar, Drew. You know that with 3 boys.
Yes, yes.
All right, I wanted to talk a little bit more about 3 Dodgers being inducted into the Hall of Fame, but it's probably not the Hall of Fame that some people might be thinking of. It's not the Cooperstown Hall of Fame. This is the Latino Baseball Hall of Fame, and it was formed last year to honor the accomplishments of Hispanic and Caribbean major league players, including several who currently may not be in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. It's a 25-member class for the first year, being inaugurated today, actually, in the Dominican Republic at the Casa de Campo down there. Now, the Dodgers are going to have 3 inductees in their organization: Hall of Fame Spanish-language broadcaster Jaime Jarín, Dodger scout Camilo Pascual, and former Dodger president Peter O'Malley. So it's the inaugural induction of these players, 25 members going into the Latino Baseball Hall of Fame, guys.
You know what? That's a wonderful, wonderful accomplishment, naturally. I'm thrilled that they've done it. And our congratulations, again, to our colleague, Jaime Jarín. Jaime has been with the Dodgers for a long, long time. He's a marvelous broadcaster and a terrific gentleman. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Felipe Alou, the mentor to Jim Tracy, is also being inducted into that.
And well, he should be.
Sure. I had him as a manager, and what a treat that was. Learned so much from him.
Jaime, as Brad Hobb strikes out. You know, the great Vince Scully's in his 61st year behind the microphone with the Dodgers, going back to his Brooklyn days. Jaime has been behind the microphone since 1962 with the Dodgers.
Well, he shares his duties with Fernando Valenzuela now.
That's right. That's right. 1 out. And since we're handing out, talking about accolades, we wanted to pass along our congratulations to our friend and colleague in this business, Alfred Williams, who just went into the College Football Hall of Fame. Big Al, if you're listening tonight, congrats. That is well deserved. Former Butkus Award winner and All-American up the road in Boulder. Had a terrific NFL career, most notably here in town with the Broncos.
Congratulations, Alfred. I know he's listening.
0-2. Got one of the most infectious laughs, doesn't he?
Oh, my goodness. Get him on a roll, he just gets that deep belly laugh.
Yeah. 0-2 on Olivo, 1 out. Good look at Jim Tracy. And this is toward the hole, cut off by Blake. And he gets Miguel Olivo. Tonight's the 1-year anniversary of when Tracy took over as manager of the Colorado Rockies. Former manager, of course, with the Dodgers, where he won 427 games against just 383 losses. 9th highest winning percentage in the long history of Dodger baseball. And if the Rockies can hold on to this 8-0 win tonight on his 1-year anniversary, he will have win number 100. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, good for him. What he's been able to do since taking over for Clint Hurdle, the wins, but that clubhouse. I mean, those guys respect him, and they play hard. Doesn't always work out. It's not going to work out all the time in pro sports. You're not going to win every single game, but know that those guys are prepared because of their leader in Jim Tracy.
Cannot say enough good things about that man. Baseball knowledge. He's fouled off. How well prepared he is for every ball game. How much he cares about his players, as Jeff was conversing about. And it's a reciprocal relationship. And how well he treats everybody he comes in contact with.
I was going to say, and how he lets the coaches do their job. He doesn't meddle in there. He says, okay, you have this area, you have this area, go do it.
This is a ball toward left, and Manny. What did Manny call his glove? He didn't call it Gold Glove. What did he call it? I forget. Self-deprecating. Freeze can. 2 tremendous defensive plays tonight. That one, for me, is the best. Carlos Gonzalez fully extended. And how about that one by Tulowitzki? That wasn't bad either. He's fully extended, going to his right, taking a hit from James Loaning. That's the Frost Brewed Coors Light Freeze can. Matt Kemp at the plate. 0 for 2. And this ball's well hit. Carlos Gonzalez is not going to be able to get this one. And Kemp is going to have a triple.
Second triple on the season for Matt Kemp. It was kind of where that ball went last night. The home run he hit off of Jeff Francis to center field. Sinker that didn't sink, stayed up, belt high. Matt Kemp hits it over the head of Carlos Gonzalez, who got a lot closer to that ball than I thought he would off the bat.
8-0 Colorado. And James Loney will come up. Loney's 0 for 2. Give you an idea how well the Dodgers have pitched of late. They've won 16 of their last 21 ball games. It's just the 5th time in the last 19 games that they've allowed more than 4 runs. And that's a base hit. There goes the shutout as Kemp comes home. And it's 8-1. RBI number 30 for Loney. Let's take a look at this date in history, brought to you by Dex One Marketing Solutions business results. We go back to 1990. Ricky Henderson's theft of third base in the 6th inning of a 2-1 loss to the Blue Jays breaks the 62-year-old American League stolen base record of 892, held by Ty Cobb. Randy Flores, who was not available last night, is available tonight. The Rockies have 2 guys that you won't see tonight, and that's Matt Belisle. He threw a couple innings last night. Matt Daly back to the big leagues, and he's been busy of late. So Daly and Belisle are down tonight. And Rafael Betancourt just got up as well.
Well, that's why it was so important for Aaron Cook to go out there tonight and give a little bit of length into this ball game and go out there and get at least you into the 7th inning because of those guys being down. And there was even some question, Flores, whether was he going to be available, wasn't he? I mean, those are the things that sometimes we don't know, or people watching at home might sit there and go, well, what's Jim Tracy thinking? Well, last night he didn't have a couple guys available. And tonight he doesn't, because you can't blow out your bullpen and have those guys throw every single day or throw 5 days in a row without giving them a couple days off.
Ground ball foul. And it's also, when you're sitting at home and watching the ball game, you're naturally not privy to that. And a lot of members of the media aren't privy to that. You're not going to, from a managerial standpoint, because a lot of times there are writers or broadcasters who travel with the opponents that are in your dugout, and not to say that it's certainly not their responsibility to go and tell Joe Torre, hey, look who's available, who's not. Tulowitzki unable to handle what could have been a double play ground ball. It'll be the 4th error on Troy this year. But the point being is, a lot of times nobody's aware till after the game that certain guys weren't available. It's not something that he makes a big proclamation about prior to a game.
The ball just came up and just ate Troy. Just ate him up. You see that. He usually caught, turned over to Clint Barmas for a double play.
It's Blake DeWitt.
Well, one final thought on your point you were making too. As much as things are tweeted now and put on the internet right away, the lineups are posted on blogs, all this other stuff. Well, if the opposing team sees that, that's another way Joe Torre can find out information.
That's foul. Yeah, I mean, if he knows before the game, well, they can't go to Flores here. They only have one lefty, and they got to save him for later, let's say in the ball game. It may affect how he utilizes his bench.
Right. I can go ahead and pinch hit this guy right now because I don't have to worry about another guy coming in to face him. A guy that I don't want that matchup.
Nobody out, a run in for the Dodgers. 8-1 Colorado as LA hits here in the 7th. That's wild. I know you put your infield hat on again, your shortstop hat. You can tell off the bat, one hop into the ball. Right? We're watching it from up here, and you knew he was going to get, as we call it, an in-between hop. Ball was hit pretty sharply, hard infield.
Yep, and then the in-between hop too is you can't really go get it. You just hopefully it hits in your glove and stays soft.
This could be two. There's one on the first, safe. So first and third, one out.
Well, I'm not sure if there's many second basemen that clear themselves away from the bag or the runner better than Clint Barmas. The ball was not hit all that hard. Just chops. Ian Stewart goes over, gets it, makes a strong throw. But notice Clint gets out of there, gets his feet out of the ground. That's all you have to do is get your cleats out of the dirt. So even if they do get you, it's just going to flip you and go up into the air. We saw the double play earlier turned on Matt Kemp in the first. That was impressive.
A.J. Ellis just fouled. That's the toughest call, I think, for a first base umpire. Dan Iasana has to clear himself from harm's way, then get the head around to see, hey, was it fair or foul?
Right now it looks fair, but the way he jumps, he keeps his head on that ball the whole way.
Nice job, Dan. Ellis has hit the ball on the ground twice to Barmas. And that's a base hit to right. It'll bring home a run. First to third for Blake DeWitt. A.J. Ellis with his 6th RBI of the year. And Ronnie Belliard is going to be the pinch hitter for Justin Miller. See what Jim Tracy does here.
A.J. Ellis, just inside out stroke. Same location as the first pitch. Todd reaches for it, just can't get it. We're still waiting.
Yeah, he wants Belliard to be announced.
Right. 92 pitches now for Aaron Cook. But even that, I mean, he could have been out of this inning. But Jim Tracy says, you know what, I've seen enough. I'm going to go get my right-hander.
So Aaron Cook goes 6 1/3. He leaves with an 8-2 lead. Nice bounce back performance.
Very nice. Very nice bounce back. And they badly needed for himself in the ball club.
Aaron in line for a second win of the season. Back to Coors Field in a moment. 8-2. Dodgers have runners at first and third with one out. Tonight's call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. Rafael Betancourt set to make his 20th appearance. Kind of been an uneven season thus far for Rafael. He will face Ronnie Belliard, the pinch hitter here in the 7th inning.
First time for Belliard to face Betancourt.
That's surprising. Two guys that have been around a long time. And Belliard mostly in the National League. Betancourt mostly in the American League, but figure once or twice somewhere.
Yeah. Didn't happen. Belliard 3 for 13 as a pinch hitter. You're going to pitch him with that fastball. Make sure you go to the outside corner. He loves it inside. Or he can turn on it and try to hit the home run.
0-2.
Jeff Weaver up, tossing for the Dodgers. He'll come into the ball game next inning.
Last time I saw Jeff, he and Jared won on the same evening. His brother Jared for the Angels. Jeff got a decision against the Rockies.
That was Jeff's 100th win that night. The same night Kuroda pitched.
Very proud man, one of the leaders among the relief corps, Rafael Betancourt.
He's kind of taking some of those young guys under his wing too, the Chacins, the Rogers, those type of guys. Yesterday with Betancourt not being available, he was out running with Yolis, and they were out doing their jog together.
Yolis will have the baseball tomorrow. There he is on the right talking to Jorge De La Rosa.
Good news with Jorge too. I talked to him today. He said that finger feels good. He hopes to get out on the hill sometime next week.
Great news. Swung on and missed. Belliard is gone. Betancourt strikes out the pinch hitter Ronnie Belliard for the second out here in the 7th.
This could be one of the hardest sliders that we've seen from Betancourt this year. Belliard just didn't see it. It's just a wild swing. Blocked from Olivo, who shows a Hyundai can. A little dirt came up into his eye. Still has that infectious smile.
You know what? He wears that smile 23 and a half hours a day. I think he probably
even sleeps with it.
Yeah, he sleeps with the smile on his face. Good dude, Miguel Olivo. 8-2, Rafael Furcala. 2 for 3 tonight. I think you're right. There was a lot more depth to that slider.
And that's what he's been looking for. And get over the top of it just a little bit more, not off to the side of the baseball.
Damage to your windshield? Call Safe Flight Elite Auto Glass. 303-287-5000 online at safelight.com. Dodgers began the day a game behind the Padres. Rockies 3 back. And this is a fly ball to shallow left. Smith coming, can't get it. DeWitt scores, and it's 8-3.
Much like what the Rockies did, taking advantage of the Furcala error, the Dodgers are kind of doing that a little bit right now, taking advantage of the Tulowitzki error. Ball wasn't hit all that hard, just hit in the right spot. Troy gave it a nice run at it. Seth Smith did too, just dropped right there. Nothing you can do about it. And now with the lefty, Garrett Anderson coming up, Jim Tracy going to the bullpen to go get Randy Flores.
Eight to 3 ball game. Back to Coors Field in a moment. The Dodgers have scored 3 here in the 7th. The Rockies have an 8-3 lead. Randy Flores is on to face Garrett Anderson. Anderson had a double last night, left on left. He's hitting just 150 this year against lefties. Take a look at the numbers on the former USC star Randy Flores.
5 strikeouts, only 4 walks, and 10 2/3 inning. Lefty's just hitting 150 against Flores, 3 for 20.
Randy left USC with more victories than anybody else. Alana did a nice piece on him the other night. Randy was originally a walk-on at Southern Cal. Ball 1.
I'm surprised Joe Torre didn't go to Reed Johnson here.
You and I were discussing that during the commercial break. Reed's hitting 340 against righties, and he's a far better outfielder than Garrett Anderson. Obviously, at this stage of the career, and if the Dodgers are to get back in it, probably want his glove out there. But you know, I think he's also mindful of getting his veteran some at bats.
4 or 5 at bats in the ball game if something happens, and the Dodgers can climb back a little bit. He wants Garrett to be able to face a righty later on.
How about that look from Anderson to Mark Wegner?
Garrett even looked. I mean, he got caught leaning a little bit, but he looked and peeked and then gave Mark Wegner a little piece of his mind. Go right back out there again.
He's right up on the plate, isn't he?
Yep.
And he strikes him out. Flores strikes out Garrett Anderson. In the inning, there were 3 runs, 2 earned against Aaron Cook. And Anderson and Wegner getting into it. Institute Power Hit of the Week. Thursday, that's Power. Seth Smith just inside the foul pole into the second deck. Carlos Gonzalez right behind him. Virtually the same spot. And then not to be outdone, Ryan Spilborns as the Rockies for the first time in 6 years go back to back to back. Rocky Mountain Coal Mining Institute Power Hits of the Week. Did you know that coal mining accounts for more than 16,000 jobs in Colorado's economy? Coal, affordable, reliable, and increasingly clean, and it's mined right here in our great state. Jeff Weaver on for the 20th time this year. He's got very good numbers. The opposition hitting just $191 against him.
Well, just because of his setup, he hides the baseball real well. He got kind of a sidearm slinging type of delivery. A bit like Matt Daly, that in that he hides the baseball. It's tough to pick up for the righties.
By the way, let me correct something. I said 3 runs, 2 earned against Aaron Cook. It's 3 runs, 1 earned against Aaron Cook. So Cook goes 6 1/3. 1 earned run, 6 hits, a couple of walks, and a strikeout. And on the plus side, Hiroki Kuroda is on the wrong side of things. 43,261 tonight at Coors Field after a crowd of more than 40,000 last night. Great to see. And Barmes hops this one up around the Rockies dugout.
And not getting any help as James Loney, and that's the way it should be. All those guys are just kind of sitting there. You're going into the opposing dugout. They're not going to tell you got room. They're not going to say anything.
Two and two on Barmes. Clint tonight, an RBI single. Huey, you mentioned this earlier, the RBIs that Clint's produced out of the 8-hole. And I know the average is where Clint would like it to be. It's below 220. And, you know, the fans at times get on him.
Yep.
For not having, you know, a higher batting average. But two things. One, he plays extraordinary defense. And number two, he still has driven in more runs than anybody else in the National League out of the 8-hole, save Chris Snyder of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I like what Jim Tracy says about, you know, the 8-hole, particularly with this lineup. He said, if we're relying on our 8-hole hitter to win ball games for us on a nightly basis, shame on the first 7 guys in the lineup.
Exactly. There's a reason why he's hitting 8. He's hitting 8 because there's 7 other guys that Jim Tracy feels that can hit better than him. The other thing is we've seen the double plays. The Rockies have turned 55 double plays now. That's the other reason why he's out there. He's out there a lot for his defense.
And it's not necessarily shame on the other 7 guys, but it's a responsibility of the first 7, really, you know, to get things done offensively. And Barmes is certainly going to throw out some numbers. Last year he hit 23 home runs. I think of all of the runs he saves with his glove. Fowler takes low. 1-1. The 7th inning is the Burger King Whopper inning. If the Rockies hit a home run during the 7th inning, Burger King will offer a free Whopper with the purchase of a large drink the following day between 4 and 6 at participating restaurants. 2-1 on decks. Now this is a surprise. We were told Matt Daly was not available, but there's Matt getting loose with Joe Biden.
Well, sometimes a reliever will go out there and originally say no, but then they call down there and how do you feel? You know what? I feel surprisingly good, so that's why he's up throwing right now. You'll probably see Daly come in for Ramirez and Kemp, and then depending on what happens with the lefty Loney, you might see Beimel.
It's a ground ball to second, and a nice pickup by Blake DeWitt.
He came and got that ball. I thought he was going to have to play it on the backhand, but he was able to circle it enough where he came and picked it and made the throw on the run to get the speedy Dexter Fowler. Circles it, comes and picks it, one motion, throw right on the money.
Jeff, that's where his left side of the infield background comes into play, doesn't it?
Well, it does, because third base, when you're coming in and you have to circle the ball to make sure you can get a good throwing angle to first base, you get around it and then you make that off-balance throw. That was almost the same motion that he used at second.
I like this matchup for Gonzalez. You have Weaver, who can be really tough on right-handed hitters because he hides the ball well, but the converse is true. I think lefties can see him really well. And the slider, a lot of times more of a flat slider.
Just kind of spins up there.
That was it right there. He's got it in a good location on the back door. Gonzalez, a home run back in the second. And this ball's fouled off in the seats.
As we see that foul ball go into the stands, you can also follow the Rockies on your phone with MLB.com at bat, featuring highlights and more. Try to elevate something.
Yeah, good play by Weaver to get Gonzalez. 1-2-3 inning for Weaver. We move on to the 8th inning. The Rockies +5 on the scoreboard. Service warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. And by Tri-State Generation, the power behind your local energy co-op. We go to the top of the 8th inning at Coors Field on a pretty Saturday night. Rockies handling the Dodgers so far. It's 8-3. Cotton candy or pretzel, Sweet 16 of food at the ballpark. That's our Breaks Plus poll of the night. And it still overwhelmingly favors pretzels over cotton candy. And you can keep those votes coming in at 95323 with your text messages. Manny Ramirez against Matt Daly here in the 8th inning. Manny tonight is 0 for 3. And he takes strike one from the rubber arm Matt Daly.
That's what he is. I mean, he'll take the baseball at any time, at any point that Jim Tracy wants him to.
And this is in the air to center field. Easy play for Gonzalez. All right, I'm going to quiz people at home a little bit, and you as well, Jeff. You played in the big leagues for 10 years in a week. What percentage of balls that a hitter puts in play, batted balls in play, okay, not swings and misses, balls in play, what percentage do you think are typically line drives on average? And what do you think would be a really good percentage at this level?
At this level.
You got a good hitter at the plate, Matt Kemp. Here's the 0-1.
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 30%.
That's an good guess. That would be an outstanding number. If 30% of the balls that you hit in play, that wouldn't count because that's a foul ball. Swing and a miss, obviously. You didn't get the ball in play. I'll go back 2 years ago. Andre Ethier was second in baseball 2 years ago, 2008 season, in this category. 26.6% of the balls he put in play were line drives. This will pop up right side on a line drive. Barmes will call off Helton and make the catch. That was second to a guy we'd be here all night and you wouldn't guess it. Jerry Hairston Sr.
Really?
At 27% of the balls that he put in play were line drives. Now, Todd Helton's best year, 2002, since it was really the first part of the decade that they started keeping this number. 29%, close to your number. And you know that's when Helton was hitting 360, 370. Joe Bauer last year, great hitter, right? Great hitter.
Yeah, great.
22.6% of the balls he put in play were line drive. It's just interesting. It just goes to show you just how tough it is to square up a baseball, particularly at this level. Really at any level. 2 outs, nobody on. Back in a moment. Against Hiroki Kuroda tonight. They scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 more in the fifth, which eventually chased off Hiroki Kuroda. 4 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned. The Rockies got after a very steady starter this year. Aaron Cook, 6 in the third, good innings. 3 runs, only 1 of which was earned. Here's Joe Beimel against James Loney. First pitch, popped up. Ian Stewart should have a play. And he does. Well, that's a rough outing for Bob.
One pitch, one out.
It probably will have to shut him down for a couple of days.
Might even have to ice.
8-3. Delivery of the game. Another man who's had a big night at the plate right now against Jeff Weaver. Seth Smith, single, triple, fly ball, and a 2-run single. Smith is 3 for 4, and he's kind of established himself as an everyday player in left field. Carlos Gonzalez in center, and Brad Hopp in right. That's now the Rockies starting outfield.
Yeah, I mean, he's hitting 277. He's tied for the team lead in home runs. He should be getting more at bats and being able to run out there every single day. Now tomorrow might be a different story with Clayton Kershaw, the lefty. One of those guys is going to have to get a break, and maybe it's a chance for Dexter Fowler to get in there, play some center field, move Carlos to right, put Brian Spilborghs in left.
Yeah, and a good time to get Spilborghs, who's come on with the bat.
And has good numbers against Kershaw, too.
Slowly hit to short, and Furcal gets Smith by a step, 1 out. Bring up Todd Helton.
The Rockies Conference Center is available for game day or non-game day meetings.
Todd Helton, just going back to the line drive percentage, this is how good he's been in his career. Over the last 9 years, his line drive percentage is 25.2% of the time, which has to be among the 3 or 4 best in baseball over that time frame.
It's kind of wild that it's a number like that. 25%.
Kemp reaches up, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Tulowitzki.
We talked about Joe Beimel, 1 pitch, retire the 1-hitter. I think back to last night. You only need 4 pitches to get the 3 batters he got out in last night's ball game.
He is very deceptive, isn't he?
He is, and now this year he's got a little more life on his fastball. Throwing a little bit harder than he did last year.
He's having a great year. And Manuel Corpus getting ready to come in the ball game. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Rockies ahead of the Dodgers 8-3. 2-1 the count on Tulowitzki. Houston Street through a bullpen and will face hitters on Monday, which is usually a precursor to going out. Of course, Houston's been out on a rehab assignment and then had to get shut down with a slight groin injury, but looks like he's recovered from that. And again, if all goes well the next couple of days, he'll go out for, what would you guess, 3 assignments?
Maybe a little bit more, maybe 4 or 5, just because he hasn't been out there at all this year. If he had been out some, then it probably would just be 3.
He's hit a long way to left, and this one flirting with the foul pole. And it's foul.
Just one further point on that Houston Street thing too. Even though he's been out on his rehab, they pulled him back off it. He gets a fresh 30 days if he wanted to go out there. It's not like you tack it on to the whatever it was, 10 or 12 days that he was out already, that he only didn't have 18 or 20 days. Because they pulled him off his rehab, he starts his whole rehab process again.
Here's the 2-2. 3-2. Troy had his 11-game hitting streak snapped last night with an 0-for-4 ball game. He's thrown out a hit tonight. Ball 4. Get Brad Hop a 5th at bat.
Inside, then they go outside with the slider. Did catch the zone. Jeff Weaver thought so. He's ready to hop off. Troy tossed the bat, headed to first.
Brad Hop tonight, sac fly in the first, 4-6-3 double play, a single and a run scored in the 5th, and he struck out swinging in the 6th. Brad with 115 career home runs, 57 here at Coors Field, 58 out on the road. The stat that may surprise some people.
Yeah, it would. I mean, especially Dodger Stadium, all that other stuff. There's always one club, though, if you're a player or one pitcher in particular, that you just hit well. And then there's other clubs you go up and they could tell you what's coming. They could set it on the tee, and you still wouldn't be able to get a hit.
Yep. Saw the graphic, great numbers against Jeff Weaver.
Yep. I think his great numbers against Weaver goes back to the point you made that lefties see Weaver just a little bit better because there's not quite that deception of it. Or if he throws that slider, then a lot of times it'll spin right into that low swing of a left-handed batter.
And there's a base hit from Hop. Tulowitzki to second. Rockies tonight with a dozen hits. Joe Torre looking on, nothing much he can do. Weaver will now face Miguel Olivo. Single, reached on an error in the 3rd. And would score that inning. Singled and scored in the 5th, and a ground ball to 3rd.
To me, it was the error he reached on because he hustled in that 3rd inning. It doesn't count for anything other than it allowed the inning to prolong and score a couple more runs. That's what took it from 3-0 to 5-0. Miguel Olivo has plenty of talent. We say all the time, though, it doesn't take a ton of talent to play hard. He has the talent and he plays hard.
And you would think Chris Iannetta would go tomorrow afternoon, and then Monday afternoon Miguel will go. He's caught Ubaldo in 9 of his 10 starts already this year. And Miguel is clearly, the way he's performed offensively, throwing the baseball, he is the #1 guy.
Well, with the day game too in San Francisco, and so you're following up back-to-back day games. Yeah, give Miguel the day off tomorrow. Bring him back on Monday.
Can't imagine Weaver would throw, as you look at Iannetta, I can't imagine Weaver would throw a fastball to Olivo.
No. Miguel probably get slider after slider away from him.
Weaver typically throws that slider almost as much as he throws his heater. It's the slider, and it's going to drop for a base hit for Olivo. And then he's going to watch it roll to the wall. 2 runs are going to score, and Olivo, Mr. Triple. Every night a triple for Miguel, huh?
Oh, 3rd on the season now.
Had one yesterday.
How about that, too? 25 RBIs now on the season. Well, it was a slider, drew away from him, but not far enough away. Wasn't off the plate, caught some outside part of it. He hit it to left field. Manny, once it got by him, just kind of started jogging after it. That didn't have any bite to it. That just kind of spun up there, more like a slower fastball, and Miguel did what he's supposed to do with it at this level.
Ian Stewart at the plate, 10-3 Colorado, and Stewart's going to make it 11-3. Second hit of the night for Stewart, and his 27th RBI.
Ian Stewart sees the fastball. It's 2 pitches now. The last 2 times up, or excuse me, early in the ballgame, Stewart took a fastball away, hit it for a base hit to left field. That time that ball was away from him, but he stayed on it, hit it through the middle of the ballpark.
Barnes takes a strike. Here's some numbers on Miguel Olivo. He has 3 triples. Jeff just mentioned it. The rest of the National League catchers, they have 3 triples. Every other catcher combined. Fly ball to Manny. This is going to be an adventure. Wow, he caught it. And Miguel is 3rd in the National League among catchers in hitting, and he's 3rd among catchers in the National League in RBIs. 11-3.
off of. I've got a wide range, Drew. But coming up with the postgame report, we'll talk about the 1-2 punch the Rockies have at the top of the order. One tough cookie, Aaron Cook, strong outing tonight. We'll talk about him. And, of course, we'll get you down into the clubhouse. It's all coming up right after the ball game. Drew.
You have a lot of energy, Tom.
This is how I'm built, man.
I know.
That's how I roll, you know.
I know you do.
Hey, come on. Off me, cowboy. Yeah. Beat it.
Fans are getting rowdy already out in center field.
Oh, it's going to be wild out here after the ball game. I better temper my enthusiasm.
No.
I need that energy in 3 outs.
No. You bring it all, Tom.
Beat it. Oh, it's going to be off the hook, as the kids say, Drew.
Is that what the kids are saying these days?
Like that. I'm not sure. My kids don't talk to me that much, but
understood. Hey, Tom, we're going to fit in the last 3 outs here. We'll get back to you, though. Corpus with his 23rd appearance, and Blake, did he fire? Yes, he did. It's 1-2. How about this? 9 of the Rockies' 11 runs this evening have come with 2 outs.
Yeah, those are the backbreakers, too. The ones at an opposing team, you sit there and go, they got those hits, and then we just couldn't put them away, and it just really demoralizes the opposition. Manuel Corpus, the last time he worked was back on the 25th, first game of the series against Arizona.
Which is why he's working here, even with the big lead. Tulowitzki backpedals, and that's the first out of the 9th. That'll bring up Blake DeWitt. Pitching matchup tomorrow. Yolis Chacin against Clayton Kershaw. Chacin against the NL West has been lights out.
Including the last time he pitched against the Dodgers.
That's in there for a strike, 0-1. DeWitt's 0 for 3 tonight. And that's a roll foul. Kershaw is the only pitcher to beat Ubaldo Jimenez. Even Joe Torre after the game said, I don't know how much we beat Ubaldo that night. It was just, or that day, it was kind of a circumstances thing. Ubaldo lost the game 1-0. Kershaw was terrific, and you had a soft double and then a comebacker that went off the glove of Ubaldo and got redirected into short right field. 1-0 final. That's it.
And that was off the bat of Jamie Carroll.
Yeah.
And Jamie said a couple days ago, he goes, I didn't really hit that ball that hard. He misjudged it a little bit, but that's tough when that's full swing. As a pitcher, you just let go of the ball, and you think it's coming quicker, and it kind of knuckleballed on him a little bit, redirected in the right field, and that was it.
Get your quick opinion. It's been a story in the Denver Post the last couple of days. It's been conversed about periodically over a number of years. Would you like to see high school baseball return to many years ago, wood bats?
Yes. I'm even afraid of some of the 14 and 15-year-old games that my son plays in.
The -8, -10 bats.
Yeah, well, luckily in high school it's a drop 3, -3, so you don't have quite the speed, but I'd just like to see it get back to a more normal score. 2-1s where you got to bunt guys over and play situational baseball instead of arena baseball.
Yeah, purity of the game. Teach
and
kids
safety.
Also, safety reasons also for the pitcher and the corner infielders.
Yeah. I mean, even in college now, wouldn't mind seeing it. I think you'd get a better read on some of the draft picks that happen.
I was just going to say that. I think it will help kids who are talented enough to perhaps play professionally, and that they'll learn to find the barrel at an earlier age, because the sweet spot on a wood bat and the weight distribution on a wood bat is very different than the aluminum bat.
Well, your mechanics have to be better too. You can't do all the cheating. You can't lunge onto that front side. You got to stay back, use the hands. All the things that involve good hitting, you can get away with. Bad mechanics with an aluminum bat.
DeWitt fouls this one off again.
But then it comes down to cost. I mean, how much does a wood bat cost? How much do you buy one aluminum bat? So forth and so on. And that's where the almighty dollar kind of plays into play.
And the industry, the wood bat industry, honestly, if everybody tomorrow, if you included little leagues and high school and colleges all of a sudden went to wood, there's no way you could keep up with the demand. Left field, Smith moves over, and he's got the rock. 2 outs. The player of the game is brought to you by Grainger, for the ones who get it done. Well, Aaron Cook tonight cooled the Dodgers' bats as he goes 6 1/3. He gets up 3 runs, only 1 of which was earned. And a very solid outing for Aaron Cook.
Cook threw 90 pitches tonight, 60 of them for strikes.
RBI hit last time up for A.J. Ellis. Here's the 0-1. And that's right there. 0-2. Crowd of more than 43,000 have enjoyed this evening from start to near finish. Rockies got 5 runs in the first 3 innings. Got the good outing from Aaron Cook. Good relief pitching. And a ton of offense down the line. Stewart from his knees. Caught in and out. What a way to finish.
Ian's put a clinic on over at third base the last couple nights.
He's been Brooks Robinson in this series. 11-3 the final. The Rockies over the Dodgers.
A dive, and then you know what? The arm strength to throw from his knees, and then the pick, of course, from Todd Helton. More like the Hyundai Cam. Todd looks it in, and has A.J. Ellis by a step.
Job well done. Aaron Cook the win. He's 2-3. Hiroki Kuroda takes the loss. He drops to 5-3. And the Rockies now just a game behind the